Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to do another video. Episode 2 of Survivor. It was a good show. It was a good episode. Some interesting things that were happening. First thing, Chrissy getting paranoid. I don't know, it's kind of hard that someone 3 days in is already getting so paranoid about what's going on with her stuff. I don't know if she's misplaced it or people were actually moving it. Again, we don't actually get to see behind the cameras and what's going on all the time and what they cut and edit it, so it's hard to say whether or not someone was moving her stuff or not. But maybe she was just, I don't know, maybe the elements were getting to her, the cold nights, you know, it'd be hard. You wouldn't be focused 100% of the time, so maybe she just misplaced her stuff, but definitely, to me, it seemed like the paranoia was setting in, that thinking that people were moving her stuff. It's kind of funny because, you know, already you can count her out of making it far into this game. She's just way too paranoid. You couldn't... If I was playing with her, again, this is going back to if I was in the show, I couldn't alliance myself with her. You couldn't trust her to, you know, say something accidental that she shouldn't be. But she's an easy vote. I'd keep her in because she's an easy vote, depending on who else they're thinking of putting up on the chopping block. Second thing I'll talk about, Pete, thinking about he wasn't feeling like he should be in the show. This really got to me. This really pissed me off because, as I said in the last video, I auditioned for this season of Survivor, and I felt pumped knowing that I made it through to a couple of phases in the casting section. So when he turns around and says, "Oh, you know, I'm thinking about not being here," I was like, "Are you serious, man?" This guy, like I said, he too was, you know, in the Australian Defence Force, and to me, I sort of go, really, really, because your mind, you know, the strength of, you know, the power of your mind is not really there. Like, you know, it really angered me, really pissed me off that this guy got on the show. I was thinking about quitting already around about day 3, say day 4, and you know, people like myself who trained for it, you know, I stayed out in the backyard, slept out in the backyard, you know, every couple of nights, you know, here in Adelaide during the cold. It, you know, it was tough. So to get used to that, and yeah, he just wanted to chuck the towel in. I just think that's a poor casting choice by the company that did that. You know, that's working for Survivor. I can't believe that. The next thing that I felt was really good, and I you know, I talked about it in the last episode. I said that you know, the Yellow Tribe, they had a chance to win. I believe they could be competitive, and I think going back to them getting fire, wanting to get fire. If they didn't get fire, they wouldn't have won. You know, they wouldn't have, you know, won that challenge, and it's because they did get a fire. You could see how just quickly that just boosted them and how quickly that brought them all together. And, you know, as I said, they're not the most, I don't know, constructive around camp. You know, they're not really, they don't have all the skills to build a good camp and, you know, necessarily work together in that aspect. But when they built that fire, that lit a fire within all of them, and it made them wanting to really achieve it. And, you know, they did great, and I did say they had an opportunity to win. But I did say as well, like, the blue team, they're gonna wreck people. They were gonna win that challenge. They're gonna win that challenge, and it comes down to personally Connor failing them. Now, I wouldn't put Connor on the chopping block just because we failed. The reason why they failed is not because of their teamwork. The teamwork was great. The reason why they failed is the team got them to the end. Connor, it was his job to throw those sandbags and knock those pins off the table, and he wasn't focused. He could not focus. I think the intensity of the game got to him, and it allowed Lee to catch up. And obviously, Lee's been in cricket. He's trained with balls and hitting wickets and things like that. He knows what pressure's all about, and he deals with it really well. And you could see him; he was just throwing the rounds down range, just knocking pins off. There was no pressure for him, and he did really well under this new, obviously, game for him to be in with pressure. This type of game with this type of pressure that it brings. I think the red team did a good job, and it was a risk. It was a risk, putting Lee, holding off to take Lee all the way, get him over those hurdles and all the way to the end for him to throw those sandbags, because they were so far out of it. If Connor could stabilise himself and focus, the blue team would have won, and Lee would not have even got a chance to throw a sandbag. So because he did freak out and he couldn't focus, it allowed for the red team to come up. Once they got Lee, and I knew once they got Lee there, I'm thinking, well, he's a cricketer. He should be, just knocking pins off. And that little part of the game was made for Lee. I think some of these games are going to be made to suit certain people in this game at certain points of the game. So that's just my opinion, though. Maybe not. But the red team took a risk. It paid off. They beat blue, and I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I'm going for blue because Matt, being a South Aussie, it sucks that he beat me to get on the show, but I'll back him up. I'll support him. He's doing a good job, so that sucked for me. What else? Go back into the red camp a little bit. Evan talking too much, or is it Lee? Is Lee just criticising him to try and play the game? Now, again, it's one of those things you don't get to see what happens and how much of the film that they've got that they're editing, and so you don't really get to see how much Evan's really talking. But the way I see it is, if other people are thinking that he's talking too much, and they're re-voicing it on the camera, and this is only day 2, day 3, then he probably is talking too much, and he'd be talking a lot of the time, and he's too busy. I think, in my opinion, he's trying too hard to play this game. He's trying too hard to strategize. There's moments when you do and moments when you don't, and I'm sure he's hitting the points that you do, but he's also hitting the points that you don't, and he's just constantly just talks. The best thing about that is he can leave himself open for people to go, yep, I don't trust you. You're talking away about strategy way too much. And they said it this episode. I don't know. One of the girls saying, I don't know if I can trust him. So, that's exactly what he's going to get. I think he feels like he's going to do well in this game because he's an actor. Or an acting teacher. I don't think he's going to do too well in this game. I think he'll shoot himself in the foot before he even, get to the merge, or even if he does make it to the merge, he'll be one of the first people out after that. You can also see the body language, and I noticed this too with the red team when they went into the challenge. And I'll get his name right this time, Jonathan Lapalia, asked Evan about the fire this time again, and he was honest. But the way he spoke, the way he was carrying himself, you could see he was trying to act and trying to somewhat put on this face and fool people, I guess. But you could see Lee's facial reactions react to him. Lee doesn't trust him. And you can see that. And if Lee doesn't trust him, other people in the camp are not going to trust him. And if I was Evan, I'd be quickly changing your strategy, big time, because I'd be looking at you. Going back to the yellow team again, everyone's in high spirits. I think they'll come into this next challenge feeling positive, very positive about they can take out the blue team. as I said, this could happen. This could have happened. The blue team slipped up, and they've given a yellow the boost that they needed to possibly beat them throughout this game. I hope not, because as I said, I'm liking blue team. They're going, they're doing really well, but I can see yellow. I can see yellow being very easily competitive with them every challenge, and it's going to be neck and neck. It's going to be close every challenge. What else have I got down here? Going to talking about Tribal Council and Bianca trying to strategize. Bianca's right. Those two girls. It's funny. You look at the whole team, apart from the two girl alliance. There's Brooke, Flick. Apart from those two girls, I reckon everybody in that tribe is generally a good person. I mean, they're trying to play the hero type game. Bianca was right to strategize, but she just couldn't build rapport with anybody. I think she sat out of the social dynamics part of the game, and that's what's costed her. Because by the time she was trying to make these, it was like Des. By the time he was trying to, get the ball rolling for himself to make sure he's not going to be on the chopping block, it was already too late. Yeah, sure, she did a bit of work around the camp, but she didn't fit in. And if you don't fit in, you're not going to be there long. And people got to understand this about their game. You can't just sit back all the time and analyse people. That's something. If I was to personally play, that would be a habit of mine that I do, and that's because of my security background. I sit back. I'm very vigilant, and I sit back and I watch a lot of the time. And I knew coming into this game, if I was to be on the show, that's something that I would have to be aware of, that I do, is I can't sit back and watch people. I have to socialise. And now I can socialise. I can befriend anybody. I'm good at that. I'm good at, making schemes up and doing all that thing and playing this strategic game. But I know that it's a habit of mine. And I know that's a weakness of mine. And when you know it's a weakness, if you know your strengths and weaknesses, you're going to go far in this game. Bianca doesn't 100% know herself, therefore that's why she didn't succeed. But either way, I still think it's it's a good vote out, either Bianca or Pete. I'm hopefully, Pete seems like he's 50-50. He's there and he's not, and you can see that, because if he really didn't want to be there, he would have pulled himself out of the game. So I think after these couple of days pass, I think he'll be alright. He'll start eating again, get his appetite back, and his heart will be in the game again. Hopefully. I'd hate it if he left, because that would just kill the blue team. Other than that, that's my take on episode 2 of Survivor. Please like the video, or share it around. Thanks for watching. See ya.